Fotodiox lens mount adapter, Nikon Nikkor F-mount D/SLR lens to Canon EOS, EFc EF-S, mount SLR camera body. Premium grade Fotodiox adapter mounts Nikon Nikkor F-mount D/SLR lens lenses to Canon EOS, EFc EF-S, mount SLR Cameras High-tolerance precision craftsmanship, infinity focus or beyond guaranteed all-metal design. Hardened anodized aluminum construction includes a 24-month manufacturer warranty. Whether you're shooting digitally or on film, Fotodiox offers the world's largest selection of lens adapters. Mix camera/lens platforms or reinvigorate vintage glass. Fotodiox has hundreds of ways to mount lenses onto your DSLR or SLR camera. Our adapters deliver infinity focus, manual aperture control and a sturdy build for lasting quality. This is a manual adapter, so lens functions that rely on electronic communication with the camera body, autofocus, KE metering, image stabilization, etc., will be disrupted. Set your exposure manually or meter using your camera's aperture priority, stop-down mode. If your lens does not have a manual aperture control ring, it will stop down to its smallest f/stop by default. Compatible cameras: Canon EOS, EFc EF-S, mount SLR cameras. Popular models include 1D/1DSC Mark I, IC3C, IVC, XC, CC5D, C5D Mark II /3C, 7DC, 10 DC, 20 DC, 30 DC, 40 DC, 50 DC, 60 DC, 60 Durable XTC Stick XSC SICK T1 ICT2 ICT3 CT3 ICT4 C300 DC, 350 DC, 400 DC, 450 DC, 500 DC, 550 DC, 1004. Please note, all pictures are for illustration purposes only. Actual product may vary slightly due to ongoing improvements in design. Before you put this on your lens, carefully tighten the tiny screw that keeps the little release tab from flexing sideways. If you don't, this will get stuck on your lens and you will be using dental picks and sewing needles for hours trying to dislodge it. That's what happened to me. After getting it off and tightening the screws so the lever/tab would actuate freely but not flex, this thing worked great. I can now use a bunch of 1960s to 1970s Nikkor/Nikkor lenses on my new Canon T2i. Yes, it will let you use those ancient lenses with the crazy bayonet prong thingy sticking up that used to fork into the SLR prism meters of the old film cameras. The short answer: yes, this adapter let me use old Nikon/Nikkor lenses on my Canon. They were really old lenses and most had that weird f/stop meter fork prong sticking up from the f/stop ring. I'm very happy with this purchase. This worked with these old lenses I happen to have lying around, which I'll list because some online sources say some of this won't/will fit on digital cameras, but if it's an old Nikkor, it probably will work with this adapter onto your Canon body. Hey race, what I had that worked. Now the really long answer with all sorts of cautions, opinions, etc. that you may or may not find interesting or useful. Warning number 1. Before you put this on a Nikon/Nikkor/Nikkor lens, make sure that the screw that holds the little black lever tab on is tight. If it's loose, the lever tab will flex sideways and not really go up and down, so then it won't pull the pin upward, which will jam this adapter onto your lens. This happened to me, and the little pin had to be pulled up with a dental pick and an X-Acto blade while unscrewing the adapter, righty loosey. So, test to make sure the release pin moves up and down with no sideways play. Once off the lens, it worked fine on the other 5. I used Loctite on the tiny screw and tightened it. I made sure it was still loose enough that the black lever tab could operate the locking pin up and down. Eventually I'm going to get one of these for each of my 6 Nikkor lenses along with 6 Canon end caps, because with the adapter on the rear of the lens it is Canon size now and the old Nikon end caps wouldn't fit anymore. Warning number 2: what lenses can I use? Well, see pretty much anything that has the 54-year-old and still in use Nikon F mount. Nikon/Nikkor/Nikkor Ma SLR cameras have been using the same mount since 1959C, so if you have an ancient lens for these film cameras, there's a pretty darn good chance this ring will let you use them on your Canon. By the way, none of my lenses actually said F or F mount on them, they had all sorts of other letters. F is the mounting system, not the lens type/name. But you must be careful. A few of the old Nikkor lenses had a crazy metal tab that sticks about and one into the camera. These will not work unless you use a Dremel tool to cut that tab off, then it'll work fine. If you don't cut that huge tab off, then it will smash into your mirror. I'm not talking about the little black metal tabs that are on many of these lenses and look like tiny nubby cute rabbit ears like upside down LS, or the low black or chrome curved ridges on the rear of the lenses. These are usually fine to have. Most of my lenses had 2 or 3 rabbit ear tabs and worked fine. You can't even see them when the adapter is on. The thing you do have to be careful of is a rare, sharp and huge L thing with the top of the L poking into the camera body. If you have a huge L-shaped tab that sticks past the adapter and into the camera, stop. You need to remove that tab. I've read of some of the older lenses had really big curved flanges like a shark fin that would have to be Dremeled off. I can only speak to the 6 lenses I tried. Mine just had normal flanges, black and chrome, and plastic rings and spiky blocky things, but no huge shark fins. Your mileage will vary. Make sure nothing will hit your mirror or the electrical contacts of your camera body. A few Nikon lenses have a really tall fin/flange that goes almost all the way around. These may have to be removed as well. It should be pretty obvious if you've got a lens that will need grinding. Maybe I just lucked out with half a dozen that worked with no grinding. It should be really obvious, and I don't mean to make anyone paranoid. Personally, I'm not in the mood to grind anything, so if I dig up a lens with a tall L or a huge shark fin flange, I'm probably just not going to use it unless it's one of the huge flanges that is screwed on, then I'd take it off and try. To be clear, all these old lenses will have little tabs and ears sticking out of them. It's just any huge ones that would hit your mirror that could be a problem. Looking online, it seems most old Nikkor lenses don't have these huge tabs anyway. My experience, with the adapter on each of my lenses, nothing stuck past the adapter going into the camera. Happily, none of the 6 mega old lenses I got from a family member had any really tall tabs or flanges or L thingies that interfered with fitment. I had 3 old Nikon film SLR camera bodies, F body, M body and a Nikkor Ma body, with 6 old lenses that worked interchangeably with them all. Since 1959, Nikon has used the F-mount system on their SLR SCs, so there are many Nikon lenses in the world that will fit your Canon with this adapter. I have a Canon T2i. Mounting, remember that right-E is loosey on Nikon f-mount lenses. A major source of irritation if you're used to right-E tighty. And many of the lenses have all sorts of letters on them, none actually said F or F-mount on them, so yours probably won't either. The adapter fits very tight onto the lenses and normal tight onto the Canon body. It's so tight on the lens that you'll probably end up buying one for each lens so you can just leave them on, which is since you're probably not going to put them back on your old Nikon film camera anyway, i.e. the reason you're shopping for adapters in the first place. Once in place it goes on/off the Canon body like any Canon lens. Nice and easy and clicks into place. Yes, it works. Old Nikkor/Nikon/Nikkor matte lenses, even the ones with that crazy metering/stop fork thing on the top/outside, work just fine. My ancient 1960s to 80s Nikkor lenses fit on the Canon and the camera meters through them. I've noticed that the faster, f1.8, Nikkor lenses overexpose slightly on auto everything. Fine. It's a DSLR-C, just adjust your exposure and see what you get. I also bought an adapter like this one that lets me use my old Olympus OMZ Wiko lenses from the 70s, and the fast f1.8 50mm Olympus lens also overexposes a little. The 500mm telephoto and the slower lenses meter fine using auto everything on the Canon. I used the silver rectangle with the line through it showing no flash selected on the rotating knob of the Canon. F/stop, my Nikkor lenses all stopped down, depth of field preview mode, because nothing on the camera or adapter hits the old lens levers. That's a great thing, you can use different f/stops instead of just wide open because of this. The bigger the f/stop you dial and the darker the view is and the larger the depth of field. I like that. I don't have to hold down any depth of field preview button or anything. I just get the f/stop I want by turning the ring on the lens focus by turning the other ring on the lens and snapping a photo. Some people might have a problem with this. The larger the f/stop number, the darker the view is, which makes it harder to manually focus properly. When you use these lenses on old film cameras, there is a lever that opens the f/stop until the shutter is tripped, or if you held down the depth of field preview button either on the lens or the camera body depending on the brand, which is why the view wouldn't darken on film cameras no matter what f/stop you chose. Although some lenses didn't have this feature and still would show a darker view depending on f/stop. Anyway, this is a good thing. You see what your f/stop choice does to your focus, and since the Canon can meter with these old lenses, everything comes out fine in the end. My Tamron 500M for Olympus is like that. No matter if I put it on a film SLR or a DSLR, the f/stop changes the brightness and depth of field you see while looking through the lens and trying to focus. There is no non-preview mode. I've read, but not sure if true, that even though most Nikon DSLRs will mount old f-mount lenses, some Nikon DSLRs supposedly cannot meter through them. That doesn't sound like fun. No, it won't autofocus. My Nikon lenses are so old they didn't autofocus in the first place, so this wasn't an issue. There is no sensor on this adapter, so you don't get any sort of autofocus confirmation either. Again, my lenses were from early 70s, so they never did that in the first place. Some of these types of adapters will have a circuit board thingy on them for use with newer lenses. You still have to manually focus, but the camera will notify you when you've achieved focus by blinking a light or something. I've read that these can and do burn out after a while anyway, so I went with this cheapy adapter. Even if I did have lenses with some electronic features, I wouldn't want them communicating with my nice new camera body through a cheap adapter and possibly shorting something out, but who knows, maybe they work awesome. The only autofocus lenses I own are the ones that came with the new Canon T2i kit. All the old Nikkors, and others, I have lying around are manual focus to begin with. Focus, some lenses, possibly, won't be in focus at infinity if you dial the focus ring all the way out. I didn't have that issue, see, but I've read that you just focus all the way out and then in a little and you're fine. SOC, no biggie there, look with your eyes, either it's focused or not. Why do this? Because the Canon T2i, and probably other EOS bodies, meter through anything you can adapter ring or duct tape onto the front of them. You can use totally awesome lenses that you can find ultra cheap online or even at garage sales. You can buy a box of expensive film camera lenses for $5 and laugh when they ask you film is dead. What are you going to do with those old lenses? Adapt them. I spent a lot of money in the past on nice lenses, and with a few cheap adapters I can reuse them on my Canon. Since Canon's video is considered by many to be better than some of Nikon's models, no wavy jellybeany video while panning, manual controls, longer HD record time, EC 1080 HDC, etc., you'll find lots of people shooting video with Nikon/Nikkor lenses on Canon bodies. Why it looks great and is lots of fun. Brin summary: righty loosey lefty tighty with Nikon lenses. Make sure the black lever tab pulls the pin upward. If not, tighten the screw before jamming it onto a lens, or buy an adapter for every lens you have and just leave them on, and then get Canon rear dust caps, not Nikon, for the rear of each lens. Make sure nothing is sticking past the adapter and then there be nothing to poke your mirror and break it. My 6 lenses, listed, worked just fine. Your mileage may vary due to manufacturing changes over the decades. It's nice to be able to use old expensive lenses again for cheap. Now you can hunt around your parents/grandparents' basement and double or triple the amount of lenses you have. It is a lot of cheap fun. Look around for other old lenses. Canons have adapters for tons of other manufacturers' lenses, like Olympus, OMZ, Wiko. I spent a measly few bucks on a couple adapters and all of a sudden I've got almost 2 dozen. Very high optical quality lenses for my new Canon DSLR for very little money. I took a star off for the 45 minutes of worry and dental picking to get it off the first time it jammed. After that it was smooth sailing. If I had tightened the screw before jamming it on a lens, I probably would still have given this 4 stars just for the EFc design of the release lever. Cheers, Mike from Detroit.